Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to Heart podcast. In this podcast, we slow down and have genuine conversations about the things that touch our lives, our struggles, our growth, and everything in between. I'll try to make this real quick because my throat is burning. I don't know what's happening, but I'm in real pain when I talk, when I eat. It's crazy. So yeah, let's get into it straight up. The Matrix is real. And I'm not talking about the movie. I will not be talking about the movie actually. I haven't watched the movie. I probably will not watch it. It's not really my thing. But I'll be talking about some ideas in the movies, the the philosophy behind the movie. So the Matrix, the idea behind the Matrix, like what is this Matrix? So as I told you, I have not watched the movie, but like I watched kind of a summary, a plot summary, and I read some stuff about the movie. So as I understood, and feel free to correct me, the Matrix is a metaphor for living inside an illusion or a system or a worldview that feels real and safe, but it is actually not real. It is an illusion. It is more of a cage. So you're trapped in this thing thinking that it is real. And in this matrix, we hear the comfortable stories that we're told or that we tell ourselves to make ourselves believe that this is reality so that we don't have to face uncomfortable truths about life or about the reality of life and about how illusioned and deceived we are. But of course, the movie it twists the idea a bit. It incorporates AI and machines and stuff. This does not really concern me, but what concerns me the most is like the main idea, this idea of the matrix that we're living inside an illusion. And the movie also presents two choices, two items, the blue pill and the red pill. So the blue pill stands for choosing ignorance, the decision to stay inside the comforting lie, to accept things as they appear, to avoid any questions or anything that might disturb your comfort zone. The red pill, on the contrary, stands for choosing awareness. So the willingness to see reality as it really is, even if it shatters your old beliefs or leaves you in an uncertain or unsettling truth, but you still choose it. You choose awareness because you want to know the truth. So we have this tension between illusion, truth, comfort, freedom, sleepwalking through life and waking up, and the price, the consequences that come with each choice. I really like this idea or the philosophy, the philosophical weight of the movie, even though I told you I will probably not watch the movie and I'm not really into these kinds of movies like sci-fi and stuff, but I do appreciate the philosophical depth in them. And I feel like we can link them to reality. And this is what I want to do in this episode. Linking these ideas or telling you how these ideas are actually real, how the matrix is real, how these ideas are relevant, so relevant to our day-to-day life and how we ourselves are deceived. We're living in this matrix and how this matrix is real. I think of it that way. In the same way, the matrix keeps people trapped in a comforting illusion, the dunya, the worldly life, this life that we're living, it can be seen as a kind of spiritual matrix, or just this is our matrix. It dazzles us with distractions, wealth, status, entertainment, desires. So it keeps us focused on temporary pleasures and blind us to deeper truth. This is exactly the idea of the matrix. Living inside an illusion without being aware that you are in this illusion. And in this loop, while fulfilling these endless desires, you even forget that you are in the matrix. So you forget that you sometimes you even forget that you want to see reality. You forget what reality is. The line between reality and illusion starts to blur, and all you see is just this distraction. And you're gasping and you're craving more, and that's it. That's all life is about. Illusion, distracting yourself, not thinking about how fleeting this life is or what eternal reality is, or what's waiting for us in eternal reality and the afterlife. We drop everything. So, are we living in the matrix? Yes. How to get outside of this matrix, how to set ourselves free? Think of it that way. If you're stranded on an island, there are three essential questions you need to consider. Number one, who you are. In this one, you explore your identity and your purpose. Number two, where are you? This is about the place you're living in, the dunya, the characteristics of the dunya, and all that, and how you deal with it, and all that. You understand it. You try to manipulate it for your benefit. You do not, or you try not to let it control you. You control it, but not let it control you, or not let it get the best of you. I mean, in terms of leisure and all that. Number three, where are you going? This one is related to the afterlife. What's gonna happen after you die? You know, death is something that everyone agrees on. Like, even regardless of your religion, regardless of who you are, even atheists, they do acknowledge death. Death is the inevitable, unescapable truth. And for me, death is the catalyst to all other questions, like to who am I and where am I and what I'm going, because that is our main goal. We want to secure a, a good place, which is paradise, inshallah, when we go, when we die, and when we get transformed to the afterlife. I don't know if I'm saying this or this structure correctly, but what I mean is worldly life compared to the afterlife is so insignificant. It's almost not even there. It's like, how many years do you live in life? You live like 60, 70. I don't know, on average. But eternity, it's it's exactly as the name suggests, it is eternity. Afterlife is eternal, infinite. It doesn't end. So, can you imagine this? And what we do in the 60, 70, whatever years that we're living will determine where we stand in the afterlife. So that's our main goal, that's our objective. We have to keep our minds on that. And one thing that is really interesting and that's really comforting as well. You know, like philosophers, they ask these philosophical questions and they keep thinking and thinking. They're like, oh, I can't find the answer and stuff. But you know what? We do have guidance. I feel like philosophers, they do this. I don't know. They beat around the bush. Maybe they don't want to get the right answer. I don't know. But the truth is there. It's clear, crystal clear. Everything is in the Quran, and alhamdulillah, we do have it. It's like it's right there in front of us. Guidance. It tells us who we are. It tells us the characteristics of being a human, our desires. How can we tame ourselves? What can we do to be better? It tells us where we are, the characteristics of the dunya. How should we deal with the dunya? What can the dunya do to us? What do we do when we fall down or we lose? It tells us where we're going. It tells us all about the afterlife, hellfire, and paradise, the consequences of one's actions in this life. It tells us about everything, prophets. personal conduct, law, spirituality, all aspects of life. And imagine that we leave this or we overlook this and we focus on other stuff. Like we go to school, you study and you do not think about or you do not focus on reading the Quran or studying the Quran as much as you focus on studying whatever subject that you take at school, right? So aren't we living in a delusion or not? Isn't this the matrix? Aren't we living in the matrix when we think that way? When the book that has everything that we need in life that will make us go to paradise, when it's there in front of us and we don't look at it or we don't read it or we don't study it as much as we should as much as we should be studying, then what is this? What are we doing? Are we blind? We are blind to some extent. Spiritual blindness, whatever. And I feel like everyone has this moment, this turning point, spiritual awareness, spiritual awakeness, that makes them see the truth at one point. Like, in this movie, The Matrix, so there's this guy, I can't remember names. So as I told you, I just watched a summary. But at one point, I think he was shot or something, and then he was um revived in a way, so he's not dead. And then he starts to see reality for what it really is, which is, I mean, in the movie, in the word of the movie, codes, because the word the Matrix is created by computers and stuff. So this point, when the character sees reality as codes and sees how everything is a code in this machine created world, when we get out of the matrix, but in reality, we see things according to Quran. We know what money is about. What value do money really have? We know what children, what, I don't know, whatever things in life, what their real value is. We do not overestimate things or even underestimate things. Like I feel, alhamdulillah, Islam, it teaches us how to be more aligned to our fitrah. And our fitrah is our God-given instinct. And when we are more aligned to our God-given instinct, we're more stable. We're more calm. We're more tranquil. We're more in peace. And I feel like that's really important because no one is going to teach you how to have peace of mind, because the only way that you can get peace of mind is actually through knowing the truth and getting closer to Allah. And finally, seeing reality for what it really is, seeing that it is all a test, a temporary test, and that we have to focus and that we do not want to waste our lives just like this. We do not want to waste our lives on scrolling on whatever social media apps or, I don't know, shopping 24/7 or traveling 24/7 and not caring about anything, or getting stamps, several stamps on our passport, filling our passport with stamps because we're woo woo woo, we're traveling and we're liking it, or excelling at our jobs and making all our lives about career success and stuff. Like, I'm not saying these things are bad in themselves. No, they're not bad. But I mean, when we think about life as this only, like we go to school, we work and we go on vacations and we make friends and we make money, and that says that is life for us, then no, this is not life. This is the matrix, the illusioned world that we're living in. But in reality, everything that we do has to align, has to be tied to the afterlife, has to be tied to Islam, has to be tied to religion. Because that's the ultimate truth. And yeah, another thing, in the movie, or in any movie, there's always this idea of good versus evil. And same applies in the movie. There were, I don't know, whatever they call them, agents or something, and they fight humans who want to get away from the Matrix. In reality, our enemy, the one we forget almost all the time, or we overlook so many times, Satan, the architect of deception. And I feel like maybe this is one of his ways to make us uh, not see the truth, is when we forget him. Like he makes us forget that he is there so that we're kept blind to the truth. Satan is the agent of disillusion. He's whispering, tempting, beautifying, distracting us. So just like the Matrix, they enslave people's bodies and minds. Satan, he also enslaves our hearts by feeding it false promises. He tells us, oh, there's always more time. So we think that we're far away from death. We still have time to do good and to be better, whatever. He tells you, chase pleasure, you can live without this, don't worry about the consequences. So we're trapped in the cycles of heedlessness, just as the people in the Matrix are trapped in the cycle of simulation. Now let me ask you, would you take the red pill or the blue pill? Take the blue pill, you forget this conversation ever happened, you go back to your normal life, you believe in whatever you want to believe, you stay comfortable in this lie. Take the red pill, you wake up to the real world and you see the truth. You discipline yourself and you get closer to Allah and you work on yourself to be a better Muslim. So what would you choose? Would you choose the truth, to be aware, or to be ignorant? The blue pill, keep me comfortable even if it's fake, or the red pill, I would rather know the truth even if it requires some hard work. And actually, Islam is knowledge-based. So if you want to be a better Muslim, all you have to do is know more and practice more and have a sincere heart. Sincere heart towards Allah, and He will guide you. That's it. I hope you guys liked the episode. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Inshallah. Again, I forgot it.